どうしたって消せない夢も止まれない今も誰かのために強くなれるなら何度でも立ち上がれ
Hey guys, just finished this season of Demon Slayer.
Whoa.
And we just had to talk about it.
So good.
Yeah,
Man.
it was incredibly surprising, kind of like a breakout hit. I know I watched a couple episodes and I got super hyped really quickly, and I said, oh, let's do a review about it or let's talk about it. But like we're busy and no one was really expecting it. We even saw a couple other YouTubers talk about what they thought that would be hot this season. We even talked about Dr. Stone because we thought that was going to be hotter. But the real hotness is Demon Slayer.
Oh my god.
Ooh,
Full
crazy.
26 episodes of just constant mind blowns, honestly. Every episode, it just blows me away, honestly.
And what's nice is they progress the storyline really quickly, so we got to know a lot within the first... I mean, it was like 4 years in the first season at this point? Like,
Yeah. If you're unfamiliar with the show at all, it's basically, there's a boy named Tanjiro. His entire family gets killed by a demon, except his sister, who gets transformed to a demon. And so he has to
Very
first
Naruto.
protect her from the demon slayers, and then become a demon slayer himself to find a cure for his sister.
Yeah, and it is that perfect shonen sort of, like storyline, but again, it is done very, very well. The training arc, I find, it's only 2 episodes, but it is some of the most it's really concise, right? There's no wasted time or effort into it, and he does put in the time there, and it just shows the strength of Tanjiro as a character. He's a very hardworking classic shonen character, but his bond with his sister and all that he's trying to do, you really feel it.
Yeah, it's a very non-traditional shonen story. I like to compare it more to Full Metal Alchemist than your Naruto, Bleach, One Piece.
There's a family bond.
It's a family bond, but it's also the show doesn't have a transparent approach to selling toys or something, right?
Yeah.
It feels like, oh no, they're taking their time and they're kind of telling a story for the sake of telling a good story, not necessarily for it becoming a giant franchise.
Yeah, the deep cuts of emotion are there and apparent and purposeful.
Yeah.
When the family gets taken over, it's not super brutal where it's oh no, they're all dead just so he can be a rage bucket. It's no, it's to really highlight how Nezuko is his only family and how now he's nope, I gotta be your brother, your father, your sibling, everything.
He's still genuine and sweet.
Yeah.
As well.
Yes.
That's the one thing that everyone says. Even the demons themselves are oh, he has kind eyes. He's a kind person. And I think that's one thing that I think we're missing in a lot of anime is that pure gentleness. Where you see in My Hero, obviously there's a little bit of angst to Midoriya. Obviously Bakugo's just a rage bucket.
Yeah.
And so you don't really see that pure, genuine, no, he even says he's no, I'm absolutely going to kill demons. I will kill them, it doesn't matter. But also understand they were once people and I'm gonna respect them every time that they die. And I think that that's important as well. And I think for me that's kind of really what I grasped onto was the way that they wrote him was just such a pure character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a really beautiful clarity going on with this show because the art is at such a masterpiece level, the music is at such a masterpiece level. They're able to just throw kind of all of what you're saying into nuanced moments. Every demon gets a, hey, what was their life story? What was their damage? What was their trauma? And we focus on it each time, but it's not drawn out or kind of planted in poor art or anything like that. It all feels at that level. Right. So you really appreciate the nuance of sensitivity.
Yeah. And then even speaking of that, the art in this.
Oh my god!
Those thick, bold lines.
Oh my god, you get
powerful.
the waves, the fire, oh my gosh.
Everything.
It literally looks like an old Japanese painting.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful that they took the time and the effort. It almost gave me that Attack on Titan type of feel.
Oh, yeah.
That
So
effort.
they're obviously using 3D models and everything to give us the most dynamic camera possible. But then, like you're saying, they're adding that art layer. And by art layer, I mean they make it look like a painting, but not just in the sense of it's a painting because everything is digitally painted.
Yeah.
But they want to evoke the idea of, no, this is Wave Off Kanegawa. This is a piece of art, and we want you to slow down and appreciate it with the cell shading.
Because you recognize it immediately because you know
Exactly.
that's the name of it, right?
Yeah,
And
Wave
so,
Off Kanegawa.
I don't know the name, but I know what it is.
Yeah, Everybody does.
And
Yeah.
what I love is that even in the anime, they explain they're like, oh, like the people that are in the anime watching them fight, they're like, oh, he's moving like water. That's
Yeah.
crazy, but we visually get to see it as the viewer.
That is the
and it's
coolest thing
wonderful.
about what UFO Table is doing as far as the difference between the manga and the animation. There's a reason nobody thought Demon Slayer was going to be a big, huge shonen hit like this, because if you've read the manga, it's not bad at all, and the writing is there, but
it's good, but-
it's definitely like, it's not at a super high illustrative level,
Yeah.
but the message is still there, and the energy is still there, and this animation company is just pushing it to the next level, and they're really showing, like what the manga artist sort of like choreographed and sort of like gave the footnotes on, or like really tried to spell out with the water breathing and the moving and all of that. That is definitely translated perfectly. I'll read some of the breathing techniques and I'm like, okay, I see what you're trying to do there, but something like Dead Calm just reads perfectly with animation.
The Dead Calm was amazing.
Oh my god.
And the other thing,
Oh my
obviously,
God.
when you bring it to animation, you're manipulating time, not just the art. And the art is obviously heightened up to the, but they also have an absolute perfect sense of timing. Not just with the action in this show, with the 1, 2, 3 beats, the fire circle following like 2 hits to the neck, but also with the comedy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's just so many moments, like especially like I've never fallen in love with so much with Nezuko. Like
Nezuko.
I like that. I will easily like, oh my god, I love this character, but
kill for
I
her.
would kill for Nezuko. Like
She's perfect.
The reason why I love this show so much is just like the relationship between Tanjiro and Nezuko, like what you were saying, it's just like he's like the only family for her. I'm your father, I'm your brother, I'm whatever. And just like the whole relationship between Nezuko and Tanjiro throughout the entire series. Like I'm so surprised that Nezuko doesn't say one word. She shows expression, she just has a cork in her mouth, and she's
you
the
still
most
love her
funniest
so much.
thing. Like
Yes.
just dot-eye Nezuko, just no like chibi Nezuko turns into a child Nezuko.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
just-
yes, little
the
baby Nezuko,
comedy
Naruto
is
running.
on point
And
with
it's-
just one character.
Yeah, and it's because, they can translate that emotion immediately. Like, oh no, it's a little sister, like, and it's a big brother, and that relationship has been so, like, established that, like, when she's doing some silly chibi thing,
Well, and,
Yeah.
It
and,
works.
and it just feels so genuine because in the establishment of anime as a larger picture,
Yeah.
the sister-brother relationship has been so commercialized, tainted,
Yeah.
fan serviced out. Like,
Weird.
there's a lot of mess to it that it feels real nice to just be like, no, this is, when we say like brother-sister relationship, this is what
This
we're
is-
talking
yeah.
about.
There's-
Dear God.
There's so many times, like, especially when Tanjiro is training, and he always goes back and checks on Nezuko, and then, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it is Nezuko talking, or I'm just completely going insane finally, but there are some scenes where it's like, it sounds like Nezuko is talking to Tanjiro, and it's just that
You can tell.
brother-sister vibe
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing,
You
and
have
that's
that, like,
true
one thing, yeah.
relationship.
It's
Yeah.
full. It's
The
full.
mumbles.
It's that Full Metal Alchemist vibe where it's just like, he's being this relentless character because of the situation he is in, and he was that way before, but only heightened by the fact, no, now I really got to be there for my sister.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what's exciting about it. And then we've got like an all-star cast, but Inosuke
Oh
is beautiful.
I love him.
And with Inosuke and Zenitsu, they really feel like they feel like the shonen characters.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah, we've got our trio still.
yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
feel like the ones that are not artificially, but they feel like the ones that are definitely added to keep the balance. I mean, Tanjiro has got those shoulders. He could bring up the whole series, man.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
he
He
can
carried the
handle
whole
it.
thing.
He can do it. He's got some comedy to him. He's got some moments to him. But, like, these other two, they keep the whole series feeling fresh. And the pillars, oh my god.
Oh my god!
And some of these pillar
Amazing.
fights that are coming up, I've read all ahead. I couldn't help it. Like I
How
binged
can
the
you?
whole manga. It's beautifully done, and there are some. Oh my god, this next season, right? That's what everyone
spoilers.
says. No spoilers, obviously. But the idea is there are fights that I read, and I'm like, this is great. But I can't even imagine
How it's
like
gonna be animated.
like there's so much room to improve, in the sense of like, no, that translated what he was trying to say with that fight. But when we just saw the last episode and we saw the twirling demon palace,
Right, and that's even something that I think might have even been influenced by anime, right? Like we already had the house demon with the drums doing like the flipping and whatnot. In the manga, that's not the strongest, paneling, But I think he might have been inspired to go back to it with the Demon Palace
Yeah.
after watching what they did with the animation with it.
I mean, that would be smart. I mean, the way that they animated the house scene, like that fighting was probably some of the best I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
And, like,
100%.
and in anime, you don't see it, like, unless you get like big ones like My Hero and whatnot, you
Well,
don't see the
Attack-
main characters like hyping themselves up
Yeah.
to fight the way that
Well,
Tanjiro
Tanjiro
does,
is-
which I
Tanjiro-
love. And then also, like, one thing that we're getting is like we don't have a lot of female characters in the show, and
There
the ones
are
that
so
we do
many.
have, they're not fan servicing it.
Oh, yeah.
So we're
That's-
being able to
Well-
focus in, so we get
Nope,
yet,
nope.
yet,
Shush.
yet. I'm sure there's
Well,
fan
you
service
know,
in anime.
and no spoilers,
But like,
it's not
what's
bad.
nice
It's
is
not
right
bad.
now we are getting like fully clothed female characters. We're
And
getting
fully
the
badass characters
the butterfly
too.
girl.
Oh my
God.
god.
They
Like,
spent a lot of time with Butterfly
what are they
Family.
called? The Hashiras? Is that
The
what they're
pillars.
called?
They're the pillars.
They're
Yeah, so
pillars.
yeah, like
Yeah, so one of the other interesting things I find in this series is it is just a regular series in the season, right? Like
Yeah.
nobody expected this good, but it's also just another one of the anime. It's not one of those bogarted Netflix anime.
Yeah.
We've all talked about how the problems I have like with Netflix and how they treat the anime industry right now.
Yeah.
But it's just getting a regular release. This anime is doing for anime in 2019 what Attack on Titan did in like 2014.
Yeah.
It's bringing in this whole
feel
other
that.
group of people that can come and be like, oh wow, this is really like a masterpiece format for storytelling,
Right.
and I don't have to be in the garbage isekai like sister incest.
Yes.
Like I don't need to be in the anime community to really appreciate what
Right.
anime is here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can definitely get that vibe. Oh, I get it. So it's a strong Japanese cartoon, but it's
Yeah.
not. But yeah, it's not super toxic. You know, it's not
Yeah.
weighed down by a lot of. Well, you gotta just watch out for that.
And
Yeah,
kind of-
what's nice is I've noticed is that people that I know that aren't major anime watchers have heard about Demon
And they
Slayer.
ask, like, have
and
you
they ask
seen
about, like,
this?
have you seen
Yeah.
this? And I'm like, yeah, like let's watch it. Like, and that's what I think is good. And it's kind of doing that same thing that My Hero did in the sense of like it kind of came out of nowhere and it came out
And it's just
strong.
there are less pullout moments in this series.
Yes, I
Anyway.
didn't have any pull-out moments in
No.
the series at all.
Exactly.
Yeah. Love
but
it.
yeah, so that's how we've been feeling, and we had to say something about it. Who knows? Maybe next season we'll do a reaction by episode.
Oh, we probably will.
Oh, 100%.
Let us know if
see.
you guys want that in the comments below, and we'll catch you next time.
眠れない闇色の時